Players over towards Boiler.
That turret's a little deep. This three-man flank that's coming through from NRG is going to have to scale it pretty far before it's caught. Which
also means that that turret is going to not really tell them early enough, maybe. No, they break it really early, so Pankata's aware.
Yeah, instantly has to turn around.
So which is the call for Sentinels? Are they going to push forward, or are they going to fall back and try to receive the flank?
Oh, they want to go forward. The drone pushes his way up. Tessie, Tense, and Sasi close by. Finesse not able to get anything, but Artist can. And you see this fight happening across the middle of the map as well. It goes in favor of Artist. Now NRG have full control.
And that's not a frenzy for Tense. That is a big round, and Artist immediately having impact. He was by himself over there at that boiler. Completely solo. Received both Tens and the rest of the Sentinels players that were pushing behind him. Dealt with that so easily. And you do see him picking up that Marshall. He does tend to op on this map when he gets down to it. Even though you won't see that too often on the KJ. I think for everybody here, this is a little bit more traditional roles for most of them. And for Sentinels, they're still sticking to that same sort of switch up. Definitely full committing. And when you do see Harbor Viper on one map, for most teams, you're going to tend to see that on all the maps where you can run it on, which is pretty much all the maps.
Great opener out from Artist. Again, picking up where he left off in the previous round. Hot start for him. What more can he find? They've left Def close by, too. Perhaps expecting aggression once again, like they saw in the previous round.
Good drone out from Crashies too. Spots at least one of the Sentinels players over here. And they do want to pivot over. Tens does... Oh, he did make some noise on that jump.
Just a step. It wasn't much, but it was enough.
Still gets all the way up here. That's the thing with Tens on this map. He does take a lot of risks, and it does pay off for him. But a big indicator for how this game is going to go is if Sentinels can continue the same success they had on Lotus at getting on the site, getting that plant down.
Right. See Finesse and Crash, he's just dancing around, backside, and then you have Artist close by too, but Tens has gotten so close, and truly, they know where he is at this point. Every single shot going wide. Oh.
Poison's off.
Sasi delivering a clean one of his own. Crash, he's still trying to spam control the spray from the Spectre. And it all quietly turns into a 2v2. Look at how weak the remaining members of Sentinels
12 seconds.
are.
And the Molly is not going to let him through.
Finesse is in such a good position too. Even if they choose to swing out from that, he's able to receive. He's able to hold him. Well done by NRG.
Still issues there, rearing. For Artist, he definitely was not aware of how close Tens was. Remember, he was all the way at the B side at the beginning, so he's rotating into unknown information. Maybe missed a comm, or the comm was not made. And that is a ridiculous pedigree for the players on the server here. 7 of 10. Winning a global tournament. At this point, there is a distinction. This event is international right here. Even though it's still only one region in a sense.
Interesting, but no protocols to deny that orb early on. Take flight. No shock mollies or anything like that. They hold it. The dart, too.
Oh. And I'm not sure. I think that drone did not clear properly, leading Artist to getting that first kill.
Got the wall up in a cheeky little spot. Oh, and Saucy was ready for it. He was waiting.
That one was one he was relying on over and over and over, so not surprised to see the Sentinels players easily handling that.
Victor spotting 3 there wasn't able to easily handle that. Had so many targets there.
Everybody hiding from the dart, but it gives Crashy space to walk up right now. Trying to make a play.
One spotted, and there's a member just up top. No peek.
I don't think Zekin saw him. Otherwise, Crashes would be out of here.
He's patient. Where's the swing from? Crashy just so aware. The game sense is insane. Not able to deliver on the third.
How does he make that work?
He's just good, man.
And they're low. Look, Sasi Pekata. Portuguese mode activated in the 2v2, but they're low.
Yeah, how does that account for poor health? It doesn't. It cannot.
Spike down A.
10 seconds,
left.
spike gone. Oh! Scrappy on that one.
Yeah, it was.
I can't believe Crashy's made that work. That was a completely unadvantaged situation, but again, losing that drone early, Zekin doesn't use a dart to follow up. And I think on that jiggle, he did not see him. Must not have. Because he just walks back in that angle. Not really slow clearing and not ready to pre-fire.
10 seconds left.
Dude, Finesse has gotten so many kills in this series of just shooting someone in the back of the head. As he's just like tucked in a corner and they just walk into his crosshair.
That's what this NRG team strives for. Take the advantage fights whenever you can. Back to the standard Harbor Viper. B main control right now with that Cascade deep. But this is Psalm's playground, the back of yellow. The key thing here is how good Victor is at supporting him with a flash, but he doesn't have any. Super low money, and they're not actually going light armor here. Surprising, given their insistence on going for it on every other map.
There is a little help from Crashes. He does have Hunter's Fury too. A lot of patience there. They're just waiting, and they're so far up. They're ahead of the utility that they dropped, the Viper wall and the Harbor wall.
They've got to wait for the second dart to come back up. It just did. 10 stashes, and Psalm's in the off angle.
He was never pushed off of it.
He's about to get this angle named after him.
If he continues to just farm from back there, yeah. Mid-map's not open either for Sentinels. And now you see some attempted pressure towards Psalm via the shock dart.
Triple swing coming.
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
And a double kill for Victor.
Next time, mind the heavy machinery.
4-0 lead for NRG. And this is now a gun round for Sentinels. They should be able to punch back here, but it's just looking very clean early on.
That's just insanely easy there, too. I do really enjoy watching NRG play this map because of how often and how many protocols they show for dealing with stuff like that. The regular, slow, patient push. Criticism of Sentinels there would be that High Tide came out way before 10s and Zekin were even ready. The cooldown on his dart was not up yet. And so instantly when it came back up, they're going for it because they want to spend all the time on the High Tide. But at that point, NRG already know what's going on. And yeah, Doug, you're right. No util to try to deny that over and over is going to cause problems later on.
That was insane. Finesse getting tagged through. They use the Reckoning and they scale up with it. What do NRG have for response? No, Crashies has this Hunter's Fury, and there it is.
This might be the first plant.
Yeah. Def took some damage off of it, but the job is done. He did what he was looking to do. Now the fight for the side ensues. 10's the first to fall. Crashies using utility to get some info and push them back. Look at how NRG just flawed onto the site like a death ball that's pushing back the attacking side. You still have so much utility you're gonna have to deal with from Sentinels, though. You still have another Molly out from Sasi, who's now dead. Zekin spotted, dropped. Hey, this is getting ugly very quickly for Sentinels faithful.
I mean, similar start to Lotus, but sides flipped. NRG dominating so far.
Time to stop back.
On Icebox again, their map choice. And the bricks are called for Sentinels. For that to be the first plant is definitely concerning outside of pistol. Because this comp relies on getting into post-plant situation. It relies on the staying power and the cooldowns of Harbor coming back up. That's how DRX played it. That's how Loud played it when introducing the Harbor Viper on this map. Yes, it provides you some early control options, but that is the main win condition. And NRG denying it over and over and over. That's got to be the discussion right now. Tens feels like he's the only guy who's being proactive on getting into that site, which is a difference because I don't feel like he was that proactive on Lotus. Even though to what Wyatt said on the desk, to Tens' credit, he was definitely being put in positions that were difficult for him.
Yeah, rough spots for sure.
And where the team relied on him to be sending away his life. But not in this case. This case, he's jumping up top 410, finding picks. His team's just not there to follow up with him.
Key ults here for Sentinels, though. You've got the pit. You can play around once you get into a post-plant situation. You have Zekin's ult too for the same circumstance.
And to counter Finesse's ult. Which, with the pit that you just mentioned, would be so crazy if he just uses that to counter. So let's see. Zekin's got to be aware of that. We have seen mistakes in the past, especially with new teams, where they don't fully consider the ults.
Knife deploy. One suppressed.
They're scaling up mid.
Yeah, aggro here, Artis. No op, but they're going for it.
They haven't really tested this before.
That is a place where NRG can start to find even more value, though, which is insane to see. And think that NRG can find more value than they are. But if they put a player down there, Finesse is known to just post up on the angle and watch the cross. And Sentinels hasn't really been pivoting so much so far. So I don't think you're really looking for that yet from NRG. But if that becomes a tool in the kit for Sentinels, it definitely could end up being abused in mid. Wow.
Early.
I mean, that is so early, but it also, it's not going to bait out the Hunter's Fury from Zekin.
Oh, there's still so much time.
So he's getting value by the time. Look how he just bought 3 players to rotate into him.
Not a single sound. They're so quiet. That's gonna erupt, and Crashy's once again ready for it. Phil's going back and forth. The spike's still not making its way past 410.
They can't give up on this, though.
No, I mean,
20
you don't really have
seconds.
time to pivot.
This is full fuel right now from Som. The 10 seconds isn't even going to be enough. They're staying on sites.
Spam, 13 seconds left.
Spike's down.
I don't know that they're gonna be able to do this. Play on the outside of it now. Saucy getting the spike down to 2v2, but Mankata's weak. Again, Brazilian buff activated, and they've gotten that far. Som left in this 1v2. He gets one.
Toxin screen down.
Can he do it? So patient. Letting it swing into him, and it does.
And it's the newcomer to this core of NRG, who takes down the players that the core struggled against so often last year. The Saucy and Pancata from Loud.
Down A.
Great round for Pancata, but Som, I mean, I thought he was going to get the molly in time to deny the plant entirely. There's the pop-off I'm expecting, but it's for his teammates, not for himself. 6-0 lead now.
And honestly, with tools for more. But maybe Tens can find something with the blades.
He's alone
again. You
here.
see this 2-man creep down from NRG in towards Tube, and they know he's there. Tens not able to find anything.
And Artis is the one who's traded, so that's actually at least good for Zekin there. That he's able to target down the Sage who had the res. Pancata finding a kill too. It's good to see Pancata get active. In the series against 100 Thieves, he was 0-8 in first kills, first deaths. Now that wasn't one of those. But he is looking for those kills while his team finds space elsewhere. Finally an advantage here for Sentinels.
And a key one too. It's not just the numbers, but think about how good Crashies has been at anchoring sites in these last couple of rounds. Not a factor here.
I'm wondering if they get the right read right now. It's the kitchen pressure that actually ultimately, that duel in mid, ends up giving them. How does Victor find it?
I don't know, man. They were in trouble. It was a 4v2 essentially as they were starting to surround him.
They know there's more. Som puts down the pit as well. They can now tuck inside.
Saucy with the spam, Def from up top. He is in such a good spot. He can make such a big play here. I don't know that he's expecting the second. Now his position given away.
Not the pit player though.
30 seconds left.
He's staring right at him. Oh, they continue to pass by one another.
Eventually they're gonna find the spam here. Oh!
There it is.
He can give this up now. His teammates here. Look, Finesse is on the flank. He's all the way up on the flank. That turret's
One
nearsighted.
enemy
13
remaining.
seconds left. Whopping quick. What can you do?
10 seconds left.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Is this the best?
What a stomp.
Som with the pit. Victor with the awareness to find that first on the flank is ridiculous.
One down.
And I thought for sure they were gonna be able to at least
remaining.
process of elimination.
10 seconds left.
Som away from that little corner.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
So many players getting active here for NRG now. Victor in that last round, I think, huge props to him. He was so good on Lotus. And it's the game sense considerably improved for what I can tell on the server right now. He's consistently finding the right places to look at the right times.
Sentinels left searching for answers, looking for some sort of an opening. They've succeeded at getting the spike down a couple times, but they haven't been able to convert from there. Once again, you have Sam back yellow.
Pancata won this duel last time, but
He did this time too.
Again, improvements from Pancata, super important to see for Sentinels, regardless. But the trade back immediately on the other side of the map.
Poison's off.
And Sashi still hasn't found a time to use this ult yet.
This might be as good a time as any.
You should run.
Pancata's investing his. And they can play retake here. They have Victor's ult if they just want to wait this out and then fight.
Spike planted.
Or they're just going to push into it.
It's used, but
Early.
none of the Uto countered out from Sentinels that were possible here. And because of that lockdown on the one player,
Toxin
Wait.
screen
Yeah,
down.
Pancata's in trouble. He's in so much trouble. This two-man flank from NRG once again has members of Sentinels trapped.
Reckoning used.
Reckoning suit as Victor has to sidestep, but Finesse continuing to frag, continuing to lead from the front. Sassy and Pancata outnumbered and outgunned. 4 for Finesse, the defuse for Sam, and 8 for NRG.
Reckoning there too, they're dancing around it that entire time in a 4v4 situation.
My ultimate is ready.
You thought, oh, that's gonna be impossible for them to walk through, but they treat that ult like it's a boss fight. They just sidestep. Like, how is this possible? Given the fact that, you remember that game I was talking about where the only game we saw for NRG on Icebox against Koi, the first map that we saw from them this year. They lost the first half 9-3, and that was the defense side they started on. That was the defense side. They came back on the attack. One of the most ridiculous Icebox comebacks. I mean, maybe it was a precursor to the finals of that tournament, but
Try not to get shot, okay?
how can Sentinels find a way back into that, given that context?
Not like that. That's not the start they were looking for.
That's Tens again, too. He's been consistently dying over here, fast B main. And he's updrafting and trying to find something again. But now I think it's starting to hurt him more than be a positive factor in the Sentinels' approach. On Lotus, he went 8 and 16. He was 2 for 7. First kills, first deaths. A brutal scoreline for Tens, who we all thought was return of the king last week.
Yeah. On the jet, too. On Icebox. I mean, so historic on this map.
If he can't get going now, I'm questioning the role changes entirely.
Still a shot here. First Sentinels, even though they find themselves down. Actually, I don't know. This is going to be really difficult to deal with. You have the lockdown. You have the Hunter's Fury. Well, you have the Hunter's Fury. Second's using his.
Should be broken, yeah.
It is, yeah. And they're just going to try to spam the Cove, and they do. Stop the plant for now.
Where's the defense on that? KO nade comes in on top of it, too. Pancata does retrieve it just in time.
Last player standing.
Saw him clean for the first. Victor left in this 1v2. Another clutch situation. Can he pull it off? Can he continue to pile it on? He's got time here. He can play this quietly. He can play it carefully. They hear him. The onus is on Sentinels. They have to go fast. Victor's gotten it down to a 1v1. Having to tuck tail. He's only got 1 second. He's got to commit to the plant now. And just puts all the onus on Pancata, but he gives him enough of a time window to play it. Now Victor on the back foot, and Pancata clutches it out.
Got it when he needed it most. Got it when the situation looked ever so dire. You wanted an 8-4. Here comes the start of something from Sentinels. And it shifted the energy in this room just slightly, momentum potentially. Now for Pancata, who has been having a great game on this A-Lurk consistently. Maybe finding some form. Looks like Ten's got purposefully knifed there. so that he could start to rotate, trying to give Zekin the opportunity to come in and drone and make it look like there's something behind. And it's worked, actually. NRG has pulled 4 people to this side.
And Sassy may find some room to work with mid. It seems like Victor's watching it, understanding that that's a weakness on the map right now. And they've left Finesse on an island. Yeah, he has utility, but he's by himself.
He's been finding some value, and I think if Crashes can
Toxins going
start
up.
to rotate back now that no noise has been found for so long, Victor's knife is going to be coming back up soon here. Be very curious if he uses it earlier, if they're just going to call the rotate. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, knife just came up. You're absolutely
They're
right.
here for Finesse now.
And Finesse manages to stay alive. That's huge. Now the Hunter's Fury, 10's weak, trying to tuck away, trying to stay alive. But no, Finesse's turret kills him. We've seen a lot of turret kills this weekend. Very quickly here, a 3v3. And you still have 2 members of NRG who are still backside. Victor, one of them. Death playing with fire, and the high-low is too much to deal with. Crashes with 3.
Down A.
Pankala once again left in this clutch situation. But it's not a 1v1 anymore. It's way more difficult.
10 seconds left.
As the closing moments of the round come to an end, you start to think about the following. And you look at the buy for Sentinels, there's not much here. For Pankala, saving this rifle's huge.
They don't even get the economic benefits of a win streak there. Instead, back to relying on the loss bonus. That is so unlucky for Tens. There's barely a gap in that Viper wall, by the way. But he was updrafting that entire time. I'm surprised that turret wasn't just pecking at him the entire... When that Hunter's Fury was going off, he was really trying to avoid it. Fear in Tens.
Ooh, early wall from Artis. I don't think we've seen this before.
Not in this game, which is... He took the orb while having the res. He still hasn't used that, by the way, the entire half. They haven't had a need for it. But he just stole the orb from them, which is funny. It is close to the end of the half, but some could have gotten that. They're just interested in denying on this eco more than anything.
And this is NRG at full force, right? Like, this is the roster, this is the squad, the look that we expected. They're not just satisfied with taking everything, they're also denying from the other side. Sentinels, the remaining members of Sentinels anyway, still 2 rifles here, but they're all pushing it onto A, where once again you see a couple of members from NRG close by. You've got Finesse, you have Crashies. The shock dart could be good. Yep, deal some damage on Asasi. How much more can he find? The second shock dart right in his face. Really not aware of the fact that there are a couple of members right above him too. Sentinel starting to flood out, starting to swing through.
Spike down A.
The res bringing Victor back up. And 2 rifles still in play for the attacking side.
Those Artist slows are so good. Continuously, they're trying to fight within them, but no room to actually move.
There's one. They're doing it. They're keeping it competitive. 2v2.
1 enemy remaining.
And it's just a share for Tens. Is this another Tens moment in the books? He's gotten it down to 1. Victor up top. The swing is there, and the shot is 2 from Tens. The Red Bull clutch for Sentinels.
Last round.
Relying on the big moments from their big players, Pekata and Tens now. 2 big clutches to keep this game somewhat interesting. And it's what everybody came here to see, is moments like this from Tens.
1 enemy remaining.
With just the sheriff.
Vintage Tens moment. And while that feels like a really good high right now, I have to point out the fact that unfortunately Tens just doubled his kills on the map with that 2K.
That one hurts. Oh, aggro from Sam. Last time they conditioned him to stay back behind the wall. This time, there's so many layers.
And Sam has just been, he's just gotten Tens number this entire half.
Yes, I would love to see the head-to-head at some point during this game, because it's got to be so favorable towards the new kid on the block.
Poison's off.
Once again, he's going to find value from back yellow. He spots another. He's gotten 3, not able to get the 4th, but I mean, at this point, it's done.
Oh, almost tagged Saucy too. That would have been info and surely the round over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Poison's off.
Wow.
And they know where he is. At least they have an idea.
Victor, he's so aware, dude. He is just consistently on the money with every piece of util. Hilarious that gap in the smoke there from Sasi actually nets him the kill, but not gonna be enough. It is a brutal battering in this first half by NRG. 10-2. I don't know if there's a way back into this.
I don't know that there is either, man. It's so clean from top to bottom. They haven't been able to deal with Sam back yellow. They haven't been able to get advantages for them off of him too. Again, I point back to the Sam 10s 1v1 that we've seen a couple times, and now Sam has just had his number. If they can't find openings with the tip of their spear, then how do they? Maybe defensively you can find a little bit more success, but that's just a tall order.
Yeah, that one hurts. Sentinels on the back foot, only 2 rounds in the first half. And there's really not even much to discuss for 10s. 4-11, 4-12 for Def. How do they get back in this?
I don't know if they can, but you know what? Maybe Sue and Baby Bay know. They're standing by for a quick interview at halftime.
Thank you very much, Doug and Bala. Standing here with Baby Bay, who is in the house. Baby Bay, it is such a pleasure to be able to speak with you. What brings you into town today?
Honestly, like I was here rooting for the Sentinels, but the boys on NRG looking too cold right now, too cold. So it's gonna be a rough comeback. But I know we got some Sentinels fans in the house. Like they need your energy right now.
I know you were saying that this is a map that Sam is particularly nasty on, but you made it clear you're here rooting for the Sentinels. So if we got Coach Baby Bay up in there, what would you be saying to them?
Honestly, right now, I'm just trying to get some energy into the 10s, man. He just needs to turn up. He's the one player that can completely change the entire series. So I'm really hoping he can bring it back into this half and just go off.
Well, it's still not over. We'll see how it goes in that second half. But speaking for yourself, we saw how challenges went out. Now that Split 1 and the midseason face-off has wrapped up, how are you feeling overall, and where's your headspace at?
It's definitely not the result we wanted, but you know we're working hard every day, and I'm trying to make it to play with these guys on this stage. So you know I want to compete against the best, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to get there. So it's looking good for us.
Speaking to that, it's clear that there are so many fans here that are fans of yours. It's clear that, you know, you want to be playing on this stage. Finesse my daddy. Very nice side. Very nice side. So with that being said, you know, what is that mentality like headed into that next year? Can we see you here?
I'm gonna do my best to make it. Like I said, I'm a hard worker. I do what it takes to make it. So I'm gonna make sure my team's ready for this upcoming Challenger split and really show out.
All right. Last question before I get to let you go. Any last words being here in person in front of all of these amazing fans and, of course, all the lovely viewers online?
Honestly, if you guys aren't here and you're thinking about coming, you should definitely come. The arena is sick. The energy in here is like nothing else. So you guys got to get out here. Come show out. I guarantee you will not regret it.
Thank you very much for taking the time for this interview. Doug and Bala, back to you.
Thank you so much, Sue. Always good to hear from Baby Bay. You gotta love the guy.
It's a travesty he's not on the stage. He has such a wide personality. Lovely guy. But right now, focus back on NRG and Sentinels. Crowd refocusing. We're refocusing. It is a monumental ask from them. I think the Lotus game definitely showed some improvements from Sentinels, but this Icebox game is a complete shift. NRG not giving them any room to work.
And you can see they're trying to push the pace to try to equalize things to get momentum back their way. Zekin getting the opener, instantly traded back though. And Crashies continues to form.
He actually falls off of that again. Speaks to the confidence here from 10s that he's showing. His team all falls. The dink is nice. But you want energy in him. You need a moment. Like that 1v2 at the end of the half.
Tough to stress really the importance of this pistol for Sentinels. You have to convert. There's just no other really way to describe it.
An advantage started for Sentinels here. Zekin got that first pick, but immediately 2 more kills coming in from NRG. In time, a factor. We saw how they were so willing to bring it down to the end. They're going for the hit right now.
I think Bakal is aware of the fact that Finesse is going to try to apply pressure mid. Yeah, he is, but he's spotted by the turret. Finesse patient. Here's him rotate off, too. You see his little mind
30
games, his little
seconds
micro
left.
chess matches happening throughout the map.
Orb's gonna fall now. Gonna have the opportunity to go for it. Finesse. Trying to find a gap too. 20 seconds. This is all the way down to it.
Tens is weak. They're just waiting for that.
Max fuel.
Yep. Fuel to come up. And now the wall's up, too. Sasi's pushed back.
Great volley.
Right into the molly, and Finesse strikes at just the right time.
They're breaking their own wall there. So they can get the angle back onto it. And yeah, there's the angle that they broke it for. It's suffocating. They had the perfect idea there. The wall a little deeper. The Viper wall coming up with max fuel. The molly as well landing just where they're trying to challenge back against anything. Oh my God, that is disgusting.
You mentioned suffocating. 78% of the time you find yourself down at the beginning of the round. That sucks. Like, that's so difficult to navigate. Yeah.
And the funny part is it actually is an issue now for Sentinels. This is 2 weeks in a row where they're struggling on that front exactly. With a player like Tens, that's not how you want to start the season. They won the series against 100 Thieves despite being below in that specific stat.
Let's take a look at how far back Sam is playing, still in spawn.
Poison orb emitting.
Expecting pressure from mid. And
It's a force as well, by the way, from Sentinels. Got to touch on that real quick.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Bulldog, no armor for Zekin. Light armor, Stinger, Spectre for the rest of them.
Toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
And I wondered just how antsy Sasi would get. He's playing close by mid, but not pushing forward yet. Meanwhile, NRG are towards A.
Here.
You can see the pings on the minimap too. Tench playing backside, waiting to respond. You've got Zekin close by as well.
A little damage found there, but Finesse diving through the smoke against Sasi.
Yeah.
They expect the second here. No.
It's another opener.
30 seconds left.
For Sentinels, they find themselves up pretty big on numbers here. But Fox should find so much value. Spike down. Oh my goodness. That was probably the best chance they had, numbers-wise, and it just once again falls apart. The force does not pay off.
Toxins going
Gotta
up.
say as well, that Bulldog from Som. Just nasty. Over and over and over. One of the few players who's consistently relying on it in these anti-ecos and constantly finding values, especially against forces like this.
One enemy remaining.
It's all light armor, so much easier to find that two-tap kill.
All smiles, man, and they have every reason to.
They're on the verge of the biggest margin of any America's map so far.
Placing swamp.
Big opener. They were able to buy up enough to have some bite in this round.
Yeah, but because of that, Sasi's not really in a position to completely deny this. He doesn't have that molly. You talk about a buy. Yes, they got Bulldogs. They have a Guardian. But no mollies, no util, so they can't deny this plan, even with the breaking of the wall.
Yeah, but what they do have is map presence. Look at how they're starting to flank around. They've got mid presence. They've got Tens on the flank.
Huge in a
Tom's ready
45.
for it, not again. Sam once again out of shot to get the best of Tens, and he does. That head-to-head, I'm sure, is going to be interesting to discuss afterwards, but for now, a couple of moments still in this map where Sentinels have to figure out how they navigate with 3 Bulldogs, getting the spike defused, re-establishing control on the site with so much before them. NRG with so many tools at their disposal. Artist trying to put them away. Zekin in this 1v3 turned into nothing. A statement made from NRG. They looked rough last week, but they're back on top.
They absolutely are. Everybody pegged them within that top 3. And then they lost. And the discussion shifted all of a sudden. But not anymore. Making a statement, that is for sure. Making everybody know 100% this is still NA's best. A good showing from Sentinels, I think, especially that first map on Lotus. It was a nice attempt at a